Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. When meeting somebody for the first time, greet them and say like, oh, nice to see you again. And most of the time, people just don't want to appear rude, so they're gonna go along with it. But sometimes you'll get that person that's like, oh, nice to see you. Wait, what? Try walking the same speed as complete strangers. It is so funny every single time. So like, get next to somebody, and if they speed up with them. And if they slow down with them. And eventually they're gonna be like, bro, are you fucking with me? And you gotta be like, no. Are you fucking with me? And they're gonna be really confused. And it's not creepy because you're not following them. You're just keeping up. This one's kind of mean, but if you're ever in a conversation with somebody and they're talking, stop them. Get really serious and then genuinely ask them, man, have you been crying? And like, they're more likely gonna say no, but either way, just say like, is it because of blank? Like somebody once did this to me and they're like, is it because of your hair? And I'm like, what's wrong with my hair? Side note, I'm gonna be posting a new YouTube video like tomorrow, so if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go do it. Onlyjayus. The reason some cats don't like dogs is because dogs are really unpredictable and they move too abruptly, and it actually breaks the cat's inner algorithm. Cats like being in boxes because it makes them feel safe. They're covered on all sides and they think that you can't see them, but they can see you. Cats don't think of the person who feeds them as their master. They're just the feeder. If you want your cat to think of you as a master, you actually have to train it. And cats can be trained, but the problem is that humans can be trained even better and the cat usually wins. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them. If you ever need to remember something, try thinking about it while doing something weird. This will pair the memory with the weird thing. Like if you need to remember facts for a test, eat something strange while studying. Or if you need to remember to take the garbage out in the morning, put the garbage bag in the kitchen sink. You'll remember. If someone's ever trying to make you make a decision in a hurry, it's more likely a bad deal and you should walk away. If you ask someone a question immediately before playing rock, paper, scissors, they're more likely going to choose scissors, so you should play rock. Alternatively, if somebody ever asks you a question right before playing, they're going to choose rock, so you should choose paper.
So I'm really bad at expressing my emotions, so my boyfriend got me a pillow so that when we're in bed, he knows where I'm at. So when I'm in a good mood, I'm on Mogwai. When I'm angry, Gremlin.
Psychology tricks that I learned in my general psych class last year that I know work because I use them. People tend to get really uncomfortable in silence and they subconsciously try to fill this by talking. This works especially well if you're in a verbal altercation with somebody and they're kind of being an ass. Just don't say anything. Let themselves dig a deeper hole and listen to the word vomit spew out of their mouth. You can tell which one of your friends likes who by just paying attention a little bit more. If you're in a group and something funny happens or somebody tells a joke, people tend to be laughing while looking at the person they like most. I also want to apologize in advance if you do this and you notice that nobody's making eye contact with you. This last one helped me out a lot when I worked in customer service. If somebody is yelling at you or being a dick, just be like, excuse me, you have a little something in your teeth. This makes them feel very self-conscious and it stops them in their tracks every time. If you guys like this, I'll do a part 2. Part 2 of psychology tricks that I know work because I use them. You know how a joke ceases to be funny the more you have to repeat it? You can actually use this to your advantage. Let's say you're in a group, somebody's making fun of you and you don't like it. Just be like, what? And they'll repeat it and be like, I'm so sorry. What'd you say? I didn't hear that. And they'll say it again. By the 3rd or 4th time, nobody's gonna be laughing at their joke anymore. If you're at a house party and you got a drink in your hand, don't hold it up here by your chest. Try to hold it more down towards your hip. This will make you seem more open and confident and people will be more willing to come up and talk to you. I am a very awkward person, and I've been making embarrassing videos of myself online for a very long time, so I unfortunately have to remind myself of this a lot. If you're ever cringing at something embarrassing you did years ago, stop yourself and try to remember something humiliating that somebody else did. You probably can't, so this more than likely means that nobody remembers that one time in junior year where you unironically pronounced the word memes instead of memes. If you guys still like this, I'll do a part 3. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them, part 3. If you look or stare at somebody's lips in conversation, it's going to make them think that you're interested in them. But if you look at their forehead, it's going to make them feel really intimidated and really uneasy. Please use these wisely. Don't go around making people feel weird for no reason. So, I'm not saying that it's okay to lie, because it's not. But If you ever need somebody to believe a lie that you're trying to tell them, go ahead and slip in an embarrassing detail about yourself. This will work every time, as long as you say it with confidence and the lie is believable in the first place. This last one I use in customer service all the time. If you made a mistake or something's taking a really long time, do not apologize or say, "I'm sorry" to the customer. Instead, thank them and say something along the lines of like, "Thank you for your patience." This takes the focus off the error that happened and then puts praise on them for even having to put up with you, which usually puts them in a better mood than just saying, "I'm sorry." Part 4 coming soon. I am completely out of flannels, but I still wanted to make part 4 of psychology facts that I know work because I use them. If you're walking and you're in a hurry, just stare straight ahead at where you're going. People will get out of your way. I use this trick when I'm running around campus on my Heelys. I just stare straight ahead, not making eye contact with anybody, and it works. If you're in the middle of a conversation with somebody and you hand them something, they're gonna take it. And it's super funny because they don't realize it. Same with the other way. If they have something in their hand and you stick out your hand, they're gonna give it to you and not know why. Smiling can literally change your life. Smile at the bartender, you're gonna get a drink faster. Smile at your coworker, they're more likely gonna take that shift trade request. Smile at your kids, they're gonna feel loved. Smile at your partner, they're gonna wonder what they did to make you so happy. Smile at me, I'm gonna smile back. Smile at everyone you meet. Smile in the mirror sometimes and you're gonna feel better. By the way, it blows my mind how many of you guys enjoy these videos, so I mean, as long as you guys keep watching and keep liking them, I'm gonna keep making them. Seeing somebody that you're in love with their hair wet should make you more attracted to them. Convincing yourself that you slept well, even if you didn't, will actually trick your brain into thinking you did, and you'll feel better throughout your day. But the opposite is also true. If you go all day like, "Oh, I'm so tired, like, I didn't sleep that good," you're gonna feel horrible. Falling in love has the same neurological effect on the brain as getting high on cocaine. If you have a daily routine, your dog can actually tell what time you're coming home based on how much of your scent is left lingering around the house. Dogs don't feel guilt. If they tear up your couch or get into the garbage, they're not sorry that they did it, they're just sorry they got caught. While dogs can understand up to 150 words and phrases, they're mostly going off just the sound of your voice. If you ever saw the TikTok video of that one guy talking to his dog and he's like, "I fucking love you," and the dog's getting all sad, and then he goes to the dog and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking murder you," and the dog's all happy, that proves it. Most people get uncomfortable if their TV or radio volume aren't divisible by 2 or 5. People who speak 2 or more languages subconsciously change their entire personality when they switch from one another. Also, if you're bilingual, I got a question for you. What language do you think in? For some reason, it's really hard for our brain to just make up other human faces, so the strangers that you see in your dreams are people that you've seen in real life. I haven't done this in a while. Psychology tricks to fuck with someone's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. This one's a little fucked up, but that's kind of the spirit of the series. If you ever see a couple, smile at the opposite gender like you know them and give them a little flirty hey. You can even throw in a look at their partner and then just walk away. They will be guaranteed to have a very interesting conversation later. If you're ever having a conversation with somebody where you're both standing, take a tiny step forward. Get in their personal space a little bit. They're going to be forced to take a tiny step back. That's when you take another tiny step forward. If the conversation lasts a while, you can probably get them all the way across the room. If someone you're talking to is being racist, sexist, or just gossiping and you don't really like it, pretend not to know what they're talking about. Just be wide-eyed and innocent and ask them questions like, what do you mean? They're going to be forced to explain their fucked up thought process until they get really uncomfortable and stop. So if your dog's ever barking and you want them to stop, don't just yell at them and say no, because they're actually going to think that you're barking with them. Instead, try to do one big loud clap. Whenever your dog puts their paw on you, that's actually their way of petting you. So I've talked about how dogs can't feel guilt, but they can actually experience jealousy. And it happens whenever you're rewarding or giving a lot of attention to another dog and not giving it to them. So if you don't already know, I actually have a YouTube channel. My newest video is Time Travel Real? I'm going to post again soon. If you want to check it out, it's linked in my bio. Whenever you walk through a doorway, your brain basically takes that as a cue to completely refresh your memory, which is why you forget shit when you walk into a new room. If you announce your goals to others, you suddenly become way less likely to actually complete them. For some reason, we just lose motivation. If you're ever standing on a high ledge and you think about jumping, this doesn't mean that you're suicidal. It's just your brain saying like, hey, you could get really hurt, just be a little extra careful. Same thing like if you're holding a baby and you're like, I could just drop this thing right now. Doesn't mean you're a monster. Your brain's just like, hey, this baby's delicate. Don't drop him. It's completely normal. Psychology tricks to fuck with someone's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. Take your parents' phone, change your contact name to God, add a profile picture for some shits and giggles, and then call them at 3:33 in the morning. See what happens. Mail somebody an empty envelope every day for as long as you possibly can. It's going to drive them insane. And then just one day, stop. For the rest of their lives, they're just gonna wonder what the fuck was going on. Next time someone calls the wrong number and asks for somebody that's not there, turn the tables around on them and ask them for somebody that's not there. They're like, hello, is Linda there? You gotta be like, no, is Jerry there? They're gonna be like, whoa. Whenever your dog looks deeply into your eyes right before they poop, it means that they feel vulnerable and they trust you to keep an eye out for them. Dogs will actually sneeze when play fighting to show that they're playing around and they don't actually want to hurt you. Whenever your dog leans on you and puts their whole weight onto you, that's actually their way of telling you that they love you. Cat hierarchy is simple. Whoever is placed higher is in charge. So if your cat's house is above your bed, they think they're in charge of you. If your cat's ever looking at you and then slowly closes their eyes while still making eye contact, that's their way of giving you a kiss. And if you do it back, they might just do it again. Believe it or not, but cats actually evolved the meow to communicate with us humans, and they don't use it with other groups of cats. And if they emphasize the O in meow, that means that something's urgent, they want something from you. If they emphasize the E, it's more pleasant, kind of like a greeting. Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. If someone's telling you a story that involves another person, no matter what they say, always respond with, that's actually not the way that I heard it. Every time, they're gonna change the story, even if it's just a little bit. If you're ever at a red light and there's a car next to you, but the lanes behind you are completely empty, put your car in reverse and slowly just start going backwards. The car next to you is gonna freak out a little bit, think that they're going forward, and slam on their brakes. This one would work really well if you can get everybody in on it to mess with your teacher. Get your entire class to casually just look into the corner of the room and stare. Your teacher's gonna follow the gaze and just be really confused with all of you. What are you doing? Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. Walk up to a group of your friends and if there's 5 of them, be like, hey, if it isn't my 4 favorite people, and watch their faces be really confused, they try to figure it out. And if somebody tries to correct you, it's even funnier because they'll be like, hey, no, there's 5 of us here. Be like, hey, if it isn't my 3 favorite people. This one's really mean, but if you're ever in an argument with somebody, be like, everything they say about you is true, and then walk away. This one also works really well in an argument, or if you're being bullied. Give the person that's yelling at you a sincere compliment. This will completely throw off the entire dynamic and throw down their guard, because it's really hard to be mean at somebody that's being really nice to you. Psychology tricks to fuck with someone's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. People naturally like to mimic each other, and you can actually use this to your advantage. And if you ever want to see if somebody's checking you out in public, just fake a yawn, and whoever yawns is watching you. Unless they're a psychopath. If you're ever playing a game against somebody like basketball or beer pong and you want to throw them off just a little bit, ask them, hey, you're doing really good, but do you breathe in or out when you shoot? Tell someone that they say a very simple word wrong, even if they don't. They're going to be adamant saying, no, I don't say that wrong, and you got to stick to it. Be like, no, you say it a little funny. It's going to slowly drive them insane, and all day they're going to be like, shampoo, 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 shampoo.